Chosen one, stop whatever you are doing right now. I know you are listening to this while doing something else. Washing dishes. On the bus, lying in bed at 2 in the morning with your phone inches from your face. Doesn't matter. Stop. Give me your full attention for a second, because what I am about to tell you today is not the kind of thing you hear distracted and understand. I need you to look at your right hand right now. Just look at it. Notice the lines, the marks, the calluses if you have them, the scars if you have them. That hand has held a lot of heavy things in this life. It has punched walls out of rage. It has wiped tears when nobody was watching. It is clenched into a fist when the world gave you every reason to quit. Keep that image in your mind, because at the end of this video, I am going to reveal what that hand truly means in the spiritual realm. And when you know, you will never look at it the same way again. Now listen to me carefully. There are things happening behind the scenes of creation that no church tells you, that no preacher talks about on Sunday, that no theology book describes, because these things operate on a level so far above conventional religious understanding that anyone who tries to explain them gets called crazy. But I am not afraid of being called crazy. I am afraid of you dying without knowing the truth. And the truth is this: Archangel Michael, the most powerful being in the entire celestial hierarchy, the warrior who existed before time, had a name, who never once in his entire eternal existence showed a single emotion, laughed for the first time in eternity, a real laugh, deep, echoing through dimensions your eyes cannot reach. And the reason for that laugh was you, not an improved version of you, not the future you when everything's figured out, not the perfect you that religion says you need to be to deserve heaven's attention. You, the one listening right now with all your cracks, all your mistakes, all the weight you carry without telling anyone. And what you did to cause that laugh is so absurdly simple that if I told you now, you wouldn't believe it. So first I need to show you what this being really is, so that when I reveal the reason, the impact hits exactly the way it needs to. Subscribe to this channel right now and hit the notification bell, because what you are about to hear in the next few minutes doesn't get repeated anywhere else. If you are not subscribed yet, this video is the sign you have been asking for to do it. Write 777 in the comments if something inside you just confirmed that this video didn't appear on your screen by accident. And stay until the end, because the heaviest revelation isn't at the beginning. It is waiting for you at the very end, like a bomb that detonates in silence. Now I need to destroy an image you have been sold your entire life. Take that picture you have of Archangel Michael, that religious postcard, the little saint with white wings and a serene face that your grandmother hung behind the door. The plaster statue on a shelf with a candle next to it, that harmless, delicate, almost decorative being that popular religion turned into a spiritual ornament. Throw it away now, because that is not Michael. That is a cartoon religion created to domesticate something that cannot be domesticated. Michael is the oldest and most devastating being in the entire celestial hierarchy. A warrior forged before the universe had formed, before light existed to separate from darkness. His name in Hebrew is a question that functions as a declaration of war. Who is like God? It is not a philosophical reflection to debate over coffee. It is the battle cry that echoes before entire armies of darkness cease to exist. The book of Daniel calls him the Great Prince, not just another angel among millions. The Great Prince, the one with authority over all others, the one who, when he appears, even the 6-winged seraphim stop what they are doing and make room. And in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, there is a record of war in heaven itself. Michael and his angels against the dragon and his forces. This isn't figurative language. It is the record of cosmic combat, where Michael faced the most powerful being who ever rebelled against the Creator, and won without stepping back, without hesitating, without a single expression changing on his face. Because this is what you need to understand about this being. In the entire span of his existence, in all the millennia of uninterrupted war, of battles that last what would be millions of years to us, Michael never showed an emotion. Not 1-0. Not because he was incapable of feeling, but because nothing in all of creation was enough to break the composure of a warrior of this caliber. Civilizations were born and turned to dust before his eyes. Empires that dominated entire continents were razed and destroyed while he watched. Billions of human beings lived and died under his gaze, and his face didn't change. Not once until you did something. The Apostle Paul wrote something in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9, that most believers read and pass over without noticing the bomb hidden there. He said, "We have become a spectacle to the whole universe, to angels and to human beings alike." Spectacle, not object of distant observation. Spectacle. The original word in Greek is theatron, where the word theater comes from. Paul is saying that celestial beings watch you like an audience watching a story unfold in real time with real attention, with genuine emotional investment in what is going to happen to you. Have you ever felt like something was watching you when you were completely alone? Not in a threatening way, something different, as if invisible eyes were there, attentive, waiting to see what decision you would make. That wasn't paranoia. That was exactly what Paul described. You are the protagonist of a story being followed with an intensity your brain cannot comprehend, and the letter to the Hebrews confirms this. Chapter 1, verse 14. Angels are ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation, sent, not randomly assigned, sent with a defined mission, with calculated purpose, with direct orders from the throne. Michael doesn't watch over you because he has nothing better to do. He observes you because you are his personal mission. You were placed under his protection, not by cosmic accident, but by decree of the Creator. Every morning you open your eyes, he is already positioned. Every night you close them, he stands guard. Every second of your life has been observed and protected by the most powerful warrior in existence. Accidents you never imagined were diverted before they arrived. Doors that would have destroyed you were closed without you, knowing they existed. People who would have drowned you were removed from your path. All of it was Michael, in silence, without credit, without applause. And in all that time protecting you, fighting for you in dimensions your eyes cannot reach. He never showed emotion. He fulfilled. He protected. He fought with the stone face of an eternal warrior until something inside you caused what millions of years of cosmic war never could. But before I reveal what it was, I need to rip out a lie planted so deep inside your head that you don't even recognize it as a lie. You mistake it for being realistic. The lie is this: that you are not special enough for heaven to truly care about you, that you are just one among billions, that your problems are small compared to the world's tragedies, that your internal struggles are insignificant on the scale of the universe. You know where that lie comes from the same being Michael defeated in that war in Revelation. Because if you truly knew what you are, you would be so dangerous to darkness that they couldn't even get close. That is why they invest so heavily in making you feel small, because a chosen one, who knows their identity, is a weapon with no possible defense. Now I want you to feel what I am about to describe, not just understand it intellectually, feel it in your chest. There was a specific moment, a Tuesday afternoon, maybe a Thursday morning. You don't even remember the day. You were alone, maybe in your room, maybe in your car, maybe walking down a street where nobody knew your name, and something inside you that had been breaking for months finally shattered. Not in a dramatic way, no screaming, no show, just that silent crack when you realize you cannot carry the weight anymore. And in that moment, when any sane person would have quit, when logic screamed for you to give up, when even your own mind whispered that it is over, you did something absurd. You laughed. Not a happy laugh, not a relieved laugh, a rebellious laugh, a laugh that said, "I don't care what this looks like. I don't care how impossible this is. I am still here." Maybe it was just a slight smile. Maybe it was a dry chuckle while tears were still on your face. Doesn't matter. What matters is that in the exact instant you did that, in that most unlikely moment for any joy, Michael, who was watching as he always does, felt something he had never felt before, and he laughed. The being who destroyed armies without blinking, who sustained wars that lasted ages, who faced cosmic horror without a tremor, laughed because of you. Do you want to know why? Not because you were winning, you were losing. Not because you were strong, you were broken. Not because you had it all figured out, you were confused and exhausted. He laughed because, in the middle of all that, you still had the audacity to smile. That is what broke him. Your sacred stubbornness, your refusal to surrender, even when surrender was the most logical option. In Psalm 62 verse 5, David wrote, "Yes, my soul, find rest in God. My hope comes from him." He didn't write that on a good day. He wrote it while running from people who wanted him dead, while hiding in caves, while his own son tried to take his throne, and still he declared hope. That is the DNA of the chosen. Not the ability to avoid the storm, the ability to laugh in the middle of it. Now pay close attention, because what I am about to say operates on a level most people never reach. When you laughed in that moment of despair, you didn't just release dopamine in your brain. You didn't just improve your mood for a few seconds. You activated something in the spiritual realm that triggered a response in dimensions you cannot see, because laughter in the midst of chaos isn't comedy. It is warfare. It is the declaration that the situation doesn't have the last word. It is the refusal to give darkness the satisfaction of seeing you destroyed. Proverbs 17 verse 22 says, "A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." Most people read that and think it is about staying positive. It is not. It is about spiritual mechanics. Your heart, when it refuses to be crushed, generates a frequency that alters the atmosphere around you, and beings who operate in frequencies you cannot measure detect that signal. Michael detected it, and for the first time in his eternal existence, he understood something about humans that millennia of observation hadn't shown him. That you are not just beings who survive, you are beings who laugh while surviving, and that makes you more resilient than anything he had ever seen in cosmic combat. Because an enemy can be destroyed with enough force, but someone who laughs while being attacked, that is a different category of resistance. That is not just strength, that is transcendence. And when Michael saw that in you, when he witnessed you doing the spiritually impossible, the only response that made sense was to laugh too, not at you, with you, in recognition, in respect, in something that if celestial beings could feel surprise, that would be the word. And here is what you need to understand about the consequences of that moment. When a being of Michael's rank expresses emotion in direct connection with a human, something shifts in the spiritual hierarchy. It is not just a nice moment. It is a marking. You have heard of people being anointed, being chosen, being set apart. This is how it happens. Not with oil in a ceremony, with recognition from a warrior who has the authority to change your spiritual classification. Isaiah 41 verse 10. "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." When that verse says, "I will uphold you," it is not poetic language. It is a description of active protection by assigned forces. And when Michael laughed because of you, your assignment level changed. You went from being protected to being personally watched over. The difference is enormous. One is protocol, the other is relationship. Think about it. A bodyguard protects because it is his job. A brother protects because it is his blood. Before that moment, Michael protected you because it was his mission. After that moment, he protects you because something about you resonated with something in him that millions of years of war never touched. And that changes everything. The attacks you used to face, they are being intercepted at levels you don't even see. The doors that should have stayed closed, they are being forced open by someone with authority over time itself. The connections you needed, they are being arranged by someone who sees the entire timeline simultaneously. Think about the scale. Michael faced the original adversary himself without changing expression, sustained wars lasting entire ages with an unshakable face, and you achieved what none of that could. Do you understand the dimension of what this reveals about who you really are? If the most brutal war in the universe couldn't pull an emotion from him, and your laugh did, then you carry inside you something more impactful than cosmic war itself. And that is exactly what darkness doesn't want you to discover. 3 things happened in the spiritual realm when Michael's laugh echoed. The first, your level of protection didn't increase. It changed in nature. Before you were a military mission, an assignment. Now you are something personal. The difference between protection by duty and protection by bond is like the difference between a hired security guard and an older brother protecting family. The guard clocks out and goes home. The brother has no shift, no limit. If lately you have noticed chronic problems dissolving without your intervention, if toxic people distance themselves without you confronting them, if impossible situations resolve themselves, now you know why. The level of protection changed. The second consequence: your spiritual field was marked. When a high-ranking celestial being expresses emotion in direct connection with you, your energy field becomes impregnated with their frequency, like a signature, an invisible mark that identifies you in the spiritual world as someone under superior level protection. And the forces of darkness detect this mark. They know what it means. They know what happens to whoever attacks someone marked by an archangel with personal reasons to protect. This explains something you have probably noticed, that in recent times the evil operating near your life started retreating without you doing anything special. The third consequence is the most important. Your destiny was accelerated in the spiritual system. When heaven celebrates something about your life, timelines compress. Doors programmed to open in years open in weeks. Connections from your future move forward to your present. I am not talking about magic. I am talking about real movements you have probably already started noticing. Mental clarity that appeared as if someone cleaned a foggy window. Ideas that wake you at 2 in the morning with precision. Apparently random encounters with people who say exactly the phrase you needed to hear. This is active acceleration. Your timeline being compressed because the signal was given. This chosen one is ready. Now, I need to talk about David. 2 Samuel chapter 6. David brings the ark to Jerusalem, the most solemn moment in Israel's history, and David danced. The text says he danced before the Lord with all his might, a king leaping, spinning, shouting with joy like a child who doesn't know shame. And his wife, Michal, watched from the window. And the text says she despised him in her heart. You know what Michal represents? Every person who told you that you are too much, too intense, too loud, too emotional. Every voice that told you to grow up when what they really meant was dim yourself. Michal watched from the window, from the safe distance of someone who doesn't have the courage to live with intensity and therefore needs to judge those who do, because your fire exposes her coldness. And what happened to Michal? She had no children until she died. Total barrenness, natural consequence of despising the genuine expression of someone who truly loves. You are David dancing with all your might, and Michael didn't laugh because you were perfect. He laughed because you were real. In a world where everyone performs, where every person wears a social mask, where maturity became a synonym for dying inside, you kept being you, imperfect, intense, completely authentic, and that to a being who has observed millions of humans, pretending for entire millennia, was so unexpected that the only possible response was to laugh. The book of Job reveals something that seals everything. In chapter 1 verse 8, God is in the midst of celestial beings, and without anyone asking, he interrupts everything to say, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him." This is a father who cannot contain himself, who needs everyone to know, who pulls out a photo of his child in the middle of a meeting and makes everyone look. And if God did that with Job, what makes you think he didn't do the same thing with you? What makes you think that at some moment while you were fighting alone, while you fell and got up without applause, the Creator didn't look at Michael and say, "You see that one? Look what they do with the little they have. Look at that sacred stubbornness. There is no one else like them." And Michael looked and finally, after an eternity of wars that couldn't move him, laughed because of you. But I need to warn you about something. After hearing all this, you are going to feel something expanding inside you, a certainty that didn't exist before. And in the next hours or days, a situation will arrive designed to rip away exactly what you just received. It might come disguised as a fight that escalates for no reason, a painful memory that resurfaces out of nowhere, a person from your past who reappears to drag you back into a cycle you thought you would overcome. And the voice of doubt will whisper, "See, nothing changes. You are the same as always." When that arrives, and it will arrive, because it is the standard response of darkness to every spiritual advance, I need you to do just one thing: laugh, not a forced chuckle. When doubt hits you, When darkness tries to convince you that you are nobody special, laugh, the same rebellious laugh, the same act of holy war disguised as a burst of laughter, because that laugh is your most lethal weapon. It is what broke the composure of an eternal warrior. And if it broke that, it can destroy any attack they fabricate against you. Remember what I asked you at the beginning to look at your right hand. That hand isn't just flesh and bone in the spiritual world. It carries the mark of everything you held without letting go, of every time you clenched your fist to hold yourself upright when everything pushed you toward the ground. Every line is a map of your resistance. Every callus is proof that you worked when nobody saw. Every scar is the seal of a battle you won alone, without an audience, without a medal. And at this moment, while you were looking at your own hand at the beginning of this video, Michael was looking too, at the same hand at the same time, and he saw what you cannot see, that this hand you think is ordinary is the hand that held what the entire universe tried to rip away from you. Your faith, your essence, your sacred stubbornness to keep being who you are when the world screamed for you to be someone else. And an eternal warrior who destroyed empires without blinking looked at that hand and thought, that hand is stronger than my sword, because his sword destroys enemies. It holds, it endures, it doesn't let go, even when it would hurt less to release. Write 777 in the comments to confirm that now you understand why heaven laughs every time. Subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next revelations. Share this video with someone who urgently needs to know that heaven doesn't observe with disappointment. It observes with a smile they caused without knowing. And click on the video appearing on your screen right now to discover what other signal heaven is sending to the chosen ones.